The Trump prosecutions continue forward, and special counsel Jack Smith, seen here, is now hinting that he might have some audio recordings of Trump. Magical evidence just keeps popping up, and in this case, apparently implicates a classified document. Many different leaks coming out of this special counsel's office. They keep sending stuff to CNN, the New York Times, and others, but this story came out from CNN as an exclusive. They say Trump captured on tape talking about classified documents that he kept. And remember, in any criminal case where one of the main components of it is a person's mental state, that's called mens rea. Do they have a guilty mind? Did they take out to do the thing and think about it in a volitional thought process? They're looking for indicia that show that Trump intended to keep documents, knowing that they were classified, knowing that he had an obligation to give them back, knowing that he didn't declassify them. So not only alleging that he broke the law, but also alleging that he didn't have any defenses to the breaking of the law. And this is indicators of that. Here's the story. Federal prosecutors in a private investigation have obtained an audio recording of a summer 2021 meeting in which former President Trump acknowledges he held on to a classified Pentagon document about a potential attack on Iran. Where did this come from? Multiple sources tell CNN. All right. Undercutting his argument that he declassified everything, right? So if Trump is sitting here, they're alleging, and he's holding this document, and he's like, well, this classified paper, and this classified paper, he's saying, is classified. Well, that means he didn't declassify it. That's indicia that Trump has a guilty mind to be in possession of a classified document. The recording indicates, allegedly on this audio file, that Trump understood he retained the classified material after leaving the White House. Now, again, if you're looking at a classified document and you're talking about a classified document, maybe it's just stamped classified on there and you're just like, yeah, I mean, it's classified, or it was classified, or the classified document, but it doesn't mean that the actual status is classified. If he declassified it, you could say it's just being referenced by that symbol on the document. So there's many different ways that CNN could listen to something and reinterpret it. We don't know. Obviously, we haven't heard it. They say that Trump understood he retained classified material after leaving the White House, according to multiple sources. On the recording, Trump's comments suggest he would like to share the information, but he's aware of limitations on his ability post-presidency to declassify records. Okay, so that changes the story a little bit. He's saying this is currently classified, and since I'm not president anymore, I can't declassify it, so therefore I can't share it. So he knows he's in possession of classified documents. Now, CNN, of course, has not listened to the recording, but multiple sources described it. One source said the relevant portion on the Iran document is about 2 minutes long, and another source said the discussion is a small part of a much longer meeting. I'm wondering who recorded this conversation. Just to pause on this for a minute. He talks in a very unusual way sometimes, and we saw this with the E. Jean Carroll case when he was at the CNN town hall and he walked us through the story about E. Jean outside of the Bergdorfs, and he walked us through almost in the present sense, like guiding us through it as though it happened yesterday. It was strange and weird. And even in his deposition, he was jumping all over the place. He changes tense, he changes times, he changes, I think, first person, and it's third person. It's strange. So it's hard to actually parse out exactly what he means. He communicates when he wants to in a very, it's kind of a jumbled way that makes sense, but that legally, if you write it down on paper, it's hard to interpret. Special counsel Jack Smith, who is leading the Justice Department investigation into Trump, has focused on the meeting as part of his criminal investigation into the handling of national security secrets. Sources describe the recording as, quote, an important piece of the evidence. Trump said he has automatically declassified documents. Prosecutors have asked witnesses about the recording. The episode has generated enough interest for investigators to have even gone after and talked to General Mark Milley, one of the highest-ranking Trump-era national security officials, about the incident. Now, we remember General Mark Milley as being a person who was engaging, let's just say, maybe insurrectionary, almost traitorous behavior. When Donald Trump was still president, Mark Milley was on the phone with Nancy Pelosi, if you remember, and Mark Milley had to listen to Nancy Pelosi talk about Trump's big fat butt and stuff like that, and said, get him off his big fat butt, and that we're going to invoke the 25th Amendment and stuff like that. And Mark Milley, back during that era, also called China and said, everything's okay. Don't worry after January 6th. So Mark Milley is not necessarily a Trump fan. He's actually a Trump, I would say, opposer. In July 2021, the meeting was held at Trump's golf club. 2 people working on the autobiography, different attendees there. Meadows didn't attend, but Meadows talked about something in his book. And so we'll see if this audio recording comes out, Trump's team responded to this. Politico says that, yeah, they have the tape. It was first reported by CNN, but Trump's people responded. They said that this is nothing more than political persecution. They write, leaks from radical partisans behind this political persecution are designed to inflame tensions and continue the media's harassment of Trump and his supporters. The DOJ's continued interference in the presidential election is shameful, and this meritless investigation should cease wasting the American taxpayers' money on Democrat political objectives. They say the Justice Department is currently investigating Trump's classified documents, and there are many other prosecutions that are moving forward against Donald Trump. And the special counsel's investigation seems like it is now expanding potentially into 2020. The New York Times has this story for us. They say that Trump White House aides were subpoenaed in the firing of the election security expert. And you remember this guy, Christopher Krebs. Very good communicator, somebody who came out and was very useful against any challenges to certain elections. The special counsel is scrutinizing the dismissal of Christopher Krebs, who contradicted Trump's 2020 claims, which is interesting because the special counsel's order says that he's supposed to be investigating the classified documents and January 6th, but this was back into Christopher Krebs, which goes all the way back to the 2020 election, and that as a separate issue almost. Here's what we've got. From the New York Times, they say the special counsel is now investigating efforts to cling to power after the 2020 election. The team is being led by Jack Smith, has been asking witnesses about Krebs. Krebs' assessment was that the election was secure and was at odds with Trump's claim. Smith is also seeking information about how the White House officials approached the DOJ and how Trump tried to turn people to his cause. Investigators are focused on Trump's state of mind. There it is. What was his intentionality? What was he trying to do around the firing of Mr. Krebs? They're looking for indicia, as well as on establishing a timeline of events leading up to the attack on J6. The subpoenas were issued roughly 2 weeks ago. They went to officials in the personnel office, according to people familiar with the matter. Previously, Krebs, they say, enraged Mr. Trump when CISA released a statement 9 days after the election rebuking Trump. They said there's no evidence of any problems. Trump said he terminated him later. So now Jack Smith is going to say Trump was doing this as part of a conspiracy to insurrect. All right. He's firing people, using the power of the presidency to eliminate people who might challenge him, developing a loyalty test. He was also interviewed by Jack Smith's team, but Krebs declined to comment. Smith's team has been trying to figure out how the personnel office interacted with the DOJ. They're saying Trump was scrambling. Fire them, fire them, fire them. He's trying to consolidate power. This is going to be part of a bigger conspiracy charge to seize control of the country. Jack Smith is going to assemble it. They're going to say that Trump is running again, and if he loses, he's going to do it again, which is why he needs to be jailed. It's just like if a murderer murders somebody, which is what they think he did to America, and then he says, I'm going to do it again. The court would obviously not let that person out of jail. They're going to literally equate it to that. And they're going to say he's too much of a clear and present danger to be let out of custody. This is all part of the conspiracy. Now it's going all the way back to 2020. Miss Stirrup and others were banned from entering the DOJ. Bill Barr, long seen as an ally, resigned. Jeff Clark was another senior official who embraced Trump's efforts. So they're creating a conspiracy. It's as clear as day. And they're working one after the other. So it's coming on. And the question is, what is happening with Trump's legal team? Evidently, there are some rumors that there are some disagreements. Here, this came from The Guardian. Trump's legal team has weathered deep distrust for months. They say there's turmoil inside the legal team. This only exploded into public view recently after Tim Parlatore abruptly resigned 2 weeks ago from the representation, citing irreconcilable differences with Trump's senior advisor and in-house counsel Boris Epshteyn. But the department of Parlatore was the culmination of months of simmering tensions. Multiple Trump lawyers are also involved in other criminal investigations. Epshteyn was recently interviewed by the special counsel, and Evan Corcoran also testified to the grand jury. Okay, they're breaking Trump's lawyers too. His lawyers are now being brought in to testify against him. So the clashes are becoming so acute. Some lawyers agreed to a so-called murder-suicide pact if Parlatore got fired. Others saying they'll resign in solidarity. So it's going to continue to heat up, and I think that Trump is capable of weathering the storm, but you can see they are going to be pulling out all of the stops against him, ranging from special counsel to other prosecutions that we'll see in Georgia and New York, and it's only just beginning.